give away a lot of that cap space for nothing. It still did a very good job. Getting McCabe signed to that extension was quality too at $4.5 million over the next 5 years. So I'm good with a 5 on the cap management, actually. Boom. Done. All right. Congratulations. I think it's the first time we've given it a 5 in like the 4 years that we've done this show. All right, we'll take a quick break. Let's come back. We'll get to the drafting and developing of the Maple Leafs front office. That's next here on the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before Week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So take a flyer on the MVP race. You like Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills? What about Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals? Go make a bet right now on FanDuel. Visit the FanDuel app today. Start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only, August 26th on FanDuel. FanDuel, play your game. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morisuti with you as we are each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all summer long. And then we get back to 5 days a week starting up in September when training camps roll around here very soon. Actually, we're what, 5-6 weeks away from training camps kicking off in Toronto. So not too long before we're back to daily coverage here of your Toronto Maple Leafs. But in the meantime, we continue our front office confidence ranking survey via The Athletic. We've already taken a look at a couple of scenarios for the Maple Leafs, and up next, I think we're taking a look at the draft and develop stage of Toronto. So drafting and developing on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not all confident, 5 being very confident. Where are you at with the Maple Leafs when it comes to drafting and developing, Dave?
I'm at a 3.
Okay, sell me on it.
Like, we're starting to see things improve a bit. We're starting to see more of a vision, I think, in what they want to do with Brad Treliving. The contrast, the big difference between Treliving and drafting and developing versus Kyle Dubas. It's not really the drafting part. We know that they've drafted players who bring intrigue, but it's the development stage. It's getting them to the NHL. Yeah. Matthew Nyes, that worked out.
Did they develop Matthew Nyes, or did Minnesota develop Matthew Nyes?
Well, he would have had to have appeared at some of their development camps, right?
That's fair.
But yeah, the majority of his minor league, in terms of actually playing games, Minnesota played a big part of that. I do think, though, like Easton Cowan, if he's able to crack the roster at some point this year, that right there is probably one of your bigger drafting and developing successes too. But they just haven't found it outside of that first and even second round. Like Fraser Minton, second round pick. That's another one there where I can see where the drafting and developing has gone, in a positive way. Grabankin was another one, but I just kind of feel like you look at how many players that you've had with the Marlies that were draft picks that didn't even get. I'm not even talking about them being any everyday players, just even getting a call up. William Villeneuve, haven't really heard much from him, right? Roni Hirvonen, never even got close.
Yeah,
Topi Niemela,
he's overseas now. Both
right? Topi Niemela, he's gone too. There's just a lot of that. I feel like has kind of hasn't. I'm not satisfied enough with what they've done.
I think I saw Mikko Kokkonen signed in the SHL earlier
another
today.
One. Mikko Kokkonen, also gone.
Yeah. Honestly, draft and develop, I'm going to give him a 2. I think a 2. There's the odd success story. Matthew Nyes, late second round pick. Easton Cowan has turned out to be a decent pick, right? Late in the first round. He was, someone who they took some flack for selecting, and he obviously is going to be a player, it feels like, at least. So, like, there are some success stories. And Grabenkin, he flashed a little bit. He ended up being part of a trade to bring in Scott Lawton. But ultimately, you look at the last 6 years, Dave. I'm looking at the last 6 drafts for the Maple Leafs. They have one player that has made an impact on this team in the last 6 years. One player. There's a problem. Matthew Nyes is that only player, by the way. Yeah. Outside of Matthew Nyes, no one else has made any impact in the last 6 years with the Maple Leafs. So, yeah, I think that's a problem. I think you look at what they've done maybe last year. You like Ben Danford, Victor Johansson. I've heard some pretty good things about, the development. The development that he had last year. He might be a player, a guy they took in the 4th round last season. Tinnis Luke Cobbler, they took in the 2nd round with their first pick this year. Tyler Hopkins got some good reviews as well when he was at camp. We've heard a lot of good things about Noah Chadwick, who was also part of the Easton Cowan draft. He was a captain with the Lethbridge Hurricanes. He's going to make his way to the AHL this year. So there are some guys who might start to be on their way. But, I mean, you go 6 years, virtually no success outside of Matthew Nyes. You're not going to get a strong grade from me. I mean, a 2 may be a little generous, to be honest with you. But, for the scouting, at least, scouting Nyes, scouting Cowan, Chadwick as a late pick there. Grabenkin, Hildeby have played games for them as 4th and 5th round picks. Maybe this Johansson kid turns into something. I'll give them a 2 since the scouting is there, but the development has been god-awful, horrendous. And they really haven't had a lot of guys, burst through the AHL and compete either. Like, outside of Bobby McMahon, there's not a lot of success stories coming through.
We thought Alex Steves could have been one of those other ones, and that didn't work out.
Right? There's a number of guys who you could put in that category that they were never able to really develop into anything. And Nick Abruzzese, another one of those guys. And, they've had a couple of college free agents that have been around for a couple of years and never really develop into anything. So we'll see. There's obviously some hope for the last couple of years. It's too early to say whether or not those guys were good or bad draft classes, obviously. I will say this was the first draft class with a new kind of man in tow also. So there is a little bit, there's been some change with the draft history. So that maybe gives you confidence that they brought in, a new head of draft after 6